Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Bethany. By now you know that my two favorite scrapbooking subjects are my two sons, Colin and Benjamin. What you don't know is that I also have an adorable little niece named Lucy. I got to use girly colors and girly patterns and really fun products, chipboard and beeswax. Let me show you how I did that and introduce you to Lucy. I have this really cute picture of my niece Lucy, and I wanted to add an artistic technique using melted beeswax. To do that, you need the melting pot by Ranger Industries. It's a really cool little heating element. It comes with a nice lid, so don't throw that away with your packaging. Where do you even get beeswax? At your local craft store. It usually comes in either pellets, it looks kind of like macaroni, or you can also get it in bricks that you break apart with a hammer and then put in the little melting pot. It has a nice temperature gauge. You melt it, you put the lid on to keep the heat in, and it works great. Now, to put on the journaling, what I decided to do was print out my journaling on regular printer paper. You don't need to use cardstock here. And then I cut it out into strips, and then I cut it once again into individual words, or however I wanted it to be. Now what we're going to do to adhere this is put the cut word right on top of your glue stick and just rub it around. This is an important step. Do not use tab adhesive to do this, because when we put the beeswax on, it's going to make this paper transparent and the tab adhesive would show through. So now we have our little handy dandy paintbrush. You need to get it in there and soften that up. This is a really hot heating element. If you have little kids and you know they scrapbook with you or they come in your area often, make sure that they can't get anywhere near this, because you wouldn't want an accident to happen. So this is an adult activity only. So you have beeswax on your paintbrush. Now all you're going to do is paint over your word. And you'll probably notice that it's getting kind of cloudy. Well, don't worry about that, because we're going to fix it in a minute. This is a really fun technique. It's used a lot in art journals, in art sketchbooks, and altered art. Beeswax is really, really hot. So now what we're going to do is smooth out this wax. And how we're going to do that is using this quilting iron. You get this at a craft store too. It's nice and hot. It has this neat little tip. We're just going to smooth it out. And if you'll notice, it just makes those words transparent. You want to do it on top of a surface, because that excess beeswax is going to go off on the end. It's a quilting iron, but if you've used it for beeswax, that's what you're going to use it for forever, just like the paintbrush. And so now you can see that it's nice and see-through. The letters are melding into the picture. It doesn't pop out too much, but it's still there. So now let's work on the rest of the layout. Using Bethany's matting technique, you would put this down on some cream color cardstock, and I overlapped these pictures a little bit. And you'll also notice that there is the beeswax letter, the beeswax words right on this photo as well. You'll notice that these are 4 pictures that are actually together. They're really detailed shots. And Lucy really wasn't comfortable in the posed shots, and we were telling her to look prim and proper in your fancy little dress, and she didn't really like that. So after the formal photo shoot, I really followed her around. I got down on her level and I let her play in her own world, and I got these shots that were the best for the entire photo shoot. So if you want to take pictures of your kids, try not to pose them so much. Follow them around. Take pictures of their toys. These are her favorite things in the whole world, are these toys that she has, and I know that my sister loves this page because she wants a copy. So let me show you the matted photos. You'll notice that I added some metal letters. Well, they don't look metal. What I decided to do was just paint them with some acrylic paint. So I used 2 coats just to make it nice and opaque. Set that aside to dry. Here's one that's already dry right here. Now, how did I get it on the photo? Flip it over on the back, and I just have some regular paper adhesive. Got some on a paintbrush. The reason I'm painting this on instead of putting it on directly with the bottle is because I'm putting it on a photo, and a photo is really slick. So let me bring this over and I'll show you what I'm talking about. When I put this letter on, if I had a bead of adhesive on the back of it and I pushed down, for one, the bead of adhesive would gush out, or if I pressed down, it would slide off and it would make a total mess. If you paint it on really thinly and you press down just slightly, it's perfect. Now we need to dot the I, and this is really Easy little thing. You know I like to dot my I's in unique ways. So I just have a little mouse pad. I have my needle tool right here. And where these four corners of this picture meet, right above this eye, I'm just going to poke a hole. And then I'm going to add a brad. And I've put the brad through a little flower sequin that's also pink. You know how excited I was to do these girly things and girly colors. Just put that through the hole, flip it over, and then you just open those prongs, and there you have your dotted eye. Now we're going to use this Grafix chipboard. It's a really great chipboard. It comes in 12 by 12 and 8.5 by 11 sizes. I happen to cut mine down from the 8.5 by 11 size to this square. What we're going to do is decoupage fabric onto this square. Fabric is as easy to use as pattern paper if you know how. I have this gel medium right here, just have a foam brush. I'm just brushing it onto the chipboard. Just going to smooth it out because I want that gel medium to go all the way through those fibers. Because if you'll notice, I didn't iron this piece of fabric that I cut out into a square, and you don't have to because the gel medium just smooths it out. Now you take a little bit more, and you're just going to put it on top. And this makes it very sealed, almost like really thick cardboard pattern paper. Here is one that's dry. You'll notice it's kind of scratchy and it's nice. I cut off the edge all the way around using regular scissors. So now we have all of our elements. Let's put it together. I have this 12 by 12 really nice pink paper. Of course it's girly. I have this polka dot paper that I sanded around the edges, and I also cut using pinking shears along one side. Now what we want to do is layer on our elements. I wanted the matted photos on the cream cardstock to be matted by the other patterns. Now what we want to add are the Heidi Swap chipboard exclamation. And they have adhesive on the back of them. You just peel that right off. And I'm going to bracket the title. Brings in more pink, 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 pink. And I'm going to do that right there. Now for the last little element, I'm going to add photo corners. I really like to use photo corners. I think they bring a lot of attention to the main photo. And of course, I want everybody to see how adorable she is. If you don't know how to do photo corners, you lick it first, lift up the corner that you're wanting to put it on, put on the photo corner, and then lay it down and then press. You don't press first and then try to slide whatever you're wanting to, because then it might be in the wrong place. So now let's take a look at the finished layout. You can see I put the photo corner in the bottom left. I also put one in the opposite top right corner. And to have another artistic element on this page, I put two photo corners on the opposite corners of the photo. This really makes you look at this adorable focal point photo. I had a lot of fun using this artistic beeswax technique. Don't be afraid to try it, even for basic beginners. It's not hard, it's easy to do. It adds a really cool look. It makes you look at the photos and then, oh, you see some journaling too. Don't be afraid to try it, and I'll see you next time.
For step-by-step instructions on how to create this week's project, download the design guide featuring special make-it-your-own bonus tips.